I found a rusted metal structure, approximately 2 feet tall, located 100 feet underground in an old cave or mine. It has pipes attached, and there is electrical wire wrapped around it, which appears white in color. Any ideas what this thing is? A hydraulic ram pump, or hydrum, is a cyclic water pump powered by hydropower. It takes in water at one hydraulic head pressure and flow rate, and outputs water at a higher hydraulic head and lower flow rate. The device uses the water hammer effect to develop pressure that allows a portion of the input water that powers the pump to be lifted to a point higher than where the water originally started. The hydraulic ram is sometimes used in remote areas, where there is both a source of low-head hydropower and a need for pumping water to a destination higher in elevation than the source. In this situation, the ram is often useful since it requires no outside source of power other than the kinetic energy of flowing water. I found a metal object with German inscriptions on a track near my location in Portugal. It measures approximately 1 inch in diameter. Anyone know what this is? It's a trolley token that doubles as a tire tread depth gauge. 1.6 millimeters is minimum required tread depth on summer tires, and 4 millimeters is minimum required tread depth on winter tires. The side with GTU is a tire tread depth gauge. GTU stands for Gesellschaft für technische Überwachung, a German technical testing organization. Empfehlung translates to English as recommendation. I bought this item at a thrift store. It is a very old leather cylindrical container with a section middle, a handle on the side, and a strap that likely goes over the top. The bottom and a side buckle, fastener, are missing. It appears to have been repaired at some point, as the handle seems newer than the rest of the container. I suspect it may have functioned as an arrow quiver, although I am not an archer. Others have speculated that it could have held some type of weapon, but the strap's design suggests it was not intended as a holster. The absence of the bottom leaves me uncertain about its original appearance. Additionally, it features an intriguing leaf-like pattern. Anyone know what this is? It's clarinet case. The clarinet is a single-reed musical instrument in the woodwind family, with a nearly cylindrical bore and a flared bell. German instrument maker Johann Christoph Denner is generally credited with inventing the clarinet sometime around 1700 by adding a register key to the chalumeau, an earlier single-reed instrument. Over time, additional keywork and airtight pads were added to improve the tone and playability. Today, the clarinet is a standard fixture of the orchestra and concert band and is used in classical music, military bands, klezmer, jazz, and other styles. This was gifted to me by a cute old German lady. She said it is an old game her husband used to play. She doesn't remember the name of the game, nor how to play it. Set of 9 wooden balls, 4 black, 4 brown, and 1 smaller brown ball. The set seems to be missing a couple of wooden balls. Any ideas what this thing is? This is bocce, an Italian lawn bowling game. In the basement of the Italian Culture Club, bocce is played year-round on a vintage 1970s green carpet court. I found a square-shaped structure approximately 15 feet tall, located next to a highway and a nearby bridge, adjacent to a hiking trail. The building features an opening on one side and a wider roof that is not connected, supported by wooden beams. In the center, there is a chimney-like shaft reinforced by metal rods embedded in the concrete. There are no signs or markings present. I attempted to search for information online, but only found references to birdhouses and wishing wells. I am perplexed by this structure. Any idea what this is made for? This is Chimney Swift Towers. Historic records indicate that before colonial times, the species now known to science as Chatura pelagica used hollow trees for roosting and nesting. Accounts in New England of the species nesting in chimneys date to the 1670s, and along the Atlantic coastal plain, the bird's exclusive use of chimneys for nest sites was established by 1800. Within hollow trees and chimneys, Sheltered interior walls meet the bird's requirements for nesting and roosting. Chimney swifts are unable to perch. Instead, they cling to vertical surfaces with their feet and use the stiff shafts that protrude from the ends of their tail feathers as a brace. For nests, swifts collect branch-end twigs with their feet in flight, then use their quick-drying adhesive saliva to construct a narrow platform with the tiny sticks on an interior chimney or tree cavity. I found this item at a thrift shop in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area. It features a top screw and resembles a salt or pepper shaker. The piece is approximately 5 inches tall and weighs around 6 ounces. It appears to be made of pewter, although I cannot confirm this. There was a white powder inside, which could be salt or another substance. I attempted to clean it up a bit. The BRC Maker's Mark led me to the British Retail Consortium, but I am uncertain if that is accurate. Any ideas what this thing is? It is a British pewter craftsman salt and pepper shaker. I found it in the house. It's my dad's, and he says it used to be in his late uncle's house. It's at least 60 years old with a wooden handle, and it seems made of brass. What is this thing? It's called a butler. You empty ashtray contents into this. I found unusual semicircular wires adorned with various beads on a wooden plank in an older house. The structure measures approximately 12 inches in length, 1 inch in thickness, and 6 inches in height. From the center outward, there are 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 3, and 12 beads on the wires. It functions similarly to an abacus, but in a circular format and not based on a base of 10. The base and inner beads are made of wood, while the outer beads appear to be composed of plastic and metal. Anyone know what this is? It's Himalayan calendar. The outer ring is 12 balls, each corresponding to a month. The next 2 rings have a tens and ones digit. The tens has 3 balls for up to the 31st, and the next has 9 balls for 0 to 9, and then 4 rings for the year, up to 9,999. This item was found at a flea market. It is a solid oak wooden piece, measuring the width of a palm at its widest point and tapering to a point on both ends. The item weighs approximately 20 pounds and is rigid, unable to be flexed by hand. There are no attachment points, and I can confirm that it is not a bow. Any ideas what this thing is? It is a yoke.